Greetings once again, and thank you for joining us for the latest edition of Mentor Mike's Market Movie. Today is Wednesday, March 21st, 2012. And before we start the data feed, notice that our moving averages are kind of all jumbled together there. The long-term moving average, the red, the white. So we're going to have to kind of sit tight for a bit and wait until the market kind of commits to a direction before we can work up a strategy. But let's get started. We've got white under red, but blue on top of white. Okay, now we look like we're trying to break to the downside. We got white below red, blue below white, and we've got almost a crossover on the faster MACD. Let's see if we can get a little more of a crossover before we commit. Well, we just flipped the parabolic to bullish. So, and we never got our crossover, so we'll wait a little longer. Well, we're trying to break to the upside, but that long-term moving average is still right there. All right, I like this downside breakout, even though the white's still a little bit above the red. I'll tell you why. The long-term MACD is below its zero line, and we've got a stochastic superimposed underneath our short-term MACD, and we've touched the overbought zone, which is a strong indication that this thing wants to go down. So I'm going to go ahead and short this. Okay, we hit both targets. That's looking good. So we now have committed to a downside move. Red is below the long term, white is below the red. So it looks like what we're going to be watching for is those areas where the blue once again goes below the white. You obviously have some kind of correction going on here as the market drifts sideways. We're going to have to get closer to that red moving average before there's going to be any obvious commitment here. Well, this could be a sell-off. And of course it turns right around. That red is on a definite downward slope, though, underneath that long term. So let's try it a little longer. Notice that our stochastic is in the overbought zone and hooking down now, too. There you go. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Okay, both targets hit. We can probably spread this out a little more. See better what's going on. Now, I really have no idea what the wave count is here. This could be the bottom of the move. But what sort of mitigates against that is that we don't have any divergence. We're in the vicinity of our first turning point, but when the first turning point is a low, we very frequently get bearish divergence on the faster MACD, and we clearly don't have that. So I have a feeling that this could be a wave 3. We're in wave 4 right now, and there's going to be one more sell-off for wave 5. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Our stochastic is overbought and starting to turn down. And we've just about flipped that parabolic. The stochastic's coming out of the overbought zone. We got a hook on the MACD, and we're staying below the red on the long-term MACD. So let's get short. Okay, hit both targets. Okay. All right, we have a lower low on the price and a higher low on the MACD. That's the divergence I was telling you about. Also, our stochastic has dipped below our oversold line and is coming back up. It looks like our first turning point was a little bit late, but as you've heard me say before, it's a very reliable one, so I am going to get long right here, even though it's an obvious counter trend trade. This is about the only place I'll do this. Okay, both targets once again. I have a feeling the price action is now going to start staying above the red for a while. Okay, I've paused it right there. Notice that the white is above the red, the blue dipped below the white and is now emerging from the other side. Long-term MACD bullish the whole time, and this dipping I'm talking about is being echoed in the short-term MACD, and our stochastic as well is turning up as well. So let's get long. All right, we're hitting resistance now in the form of the long-term moving average. We've hit both targets. We're making a second attempt to go higher and break above that long-term moving average. Doesn't appear to be succeeding. we're in the window now for the second turning point. Since the first was a low, this is going to be a high. So we've got a bearish curve on the long-term MACD. We're breaking below the red. We've got resistance here that's going to apparently keep the price from going higher. And we're breaking to the downside with both short-term MACD and stochastic. Plus the stochastic has come out of the overbought zone and appears to be in the lower half of the scale now, bearish sign. So let's get short. Are we going to hit that second target? So looking like it wants to. Nope. Let's pause that for a moment while we draw our arrow. Now look what's happened in the interim here. This thing is starting to turn around. We've got some upward hooking on the long term. We've got a crossover on the short term. Our stochastic was oversold and is coming out of the oversold zone with some bullish divergence, I might add. So if we're going to have 4 turning points or 3 cramped ones, this could be a bottom here, and the price is about ready to go above the red, which is also right on top of the long term. Well, let's give it a shot. We've got a little bit of a cushion here. Okay, stopped out. But we want to look for an opportunity to get back in, because notice the white is breaking above the red here. We've got a little curvature, and we're going to look for, well, actually, the price seems to be above the white, even though the blue is still slightly below it. Let's go ahead and get long. Got right up to the second target and then backed way off. Alright, we should have been stopped out here. The white is very solidly above the red. This thing's going to turn around and go back up. I just know it. So remember, you got to have a contrarian outlook here, folks. There's also 2 layers of support underneath that price. That's another reason why it's not a big risk to get long right out of the box like that. Okay, it's going to back off on that a little bit. Now, notice that we can have a 5-wave completed pattern here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're also in the vicinity of the 3rd turning point, even though we're going to probably end up with 4 here, it looks like. Okay, the price is breaking below the red. And the white moving average is right on its heels. Alright. I think it's a good place to get short. Hit both targets. Okay, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The market's going to close in 15 minutes. Let's just run out the clock. Looks like we had a little bit of aftermarket time as well. Well, we had a very respectable $1,437.50. Again with 3 contracts. And how many trades did we have? One, two. Wait, is that the first one? Yes, it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10-0 and 1437.50. Not too shabby. Come back and see us again tomorrow.